All right. Let's talk about a little Terence Crawford, the pound for pound king of boxing, in my opinion. Looks like Bob Arum is trying to angle him towards some decent fights and actually build another side of the street. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell icon. Also, make sure that you come to the OG Boxing Talk on Sundays, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with myself and my co-hosts. Also, thank you to the Patreons. And also, make sure you join if you are not a Patreon or go to Patreon. Also, we have the ability to join the channel. Please feel free to join the program. We got perks. We got different levels. We've now achieved at least enough on YouTube so we can offer the channel membership. So try to, consider a channel membership. Now, let's get into this. Terence Bud Crawford. Man, this dude is a heck of a fighter, man. And I got to say it every time because, unfortunately, with, the situation being what it is in the welterweight division, I'm going to inevitably have to criticize the circumstance that's going on. Okay. Now, as we know, we've got three welterweight champions. One of them is Manny Pacquiao. And we've got Errol Spence Jr., the unified WBC and IBF champion. And we have the WBO champion, Terence Bud Crawford, out of Omaha, Nebraska. There's also several other top contenders in the welterweight division. Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, I suppose, is still going to be fighting in the welterweight division. Sean Porter, Ordenis Ugas. Those are pretty much the guys that are set up there at the top of the welterweight division. There's some young guys coming up, but I think they're in generation next, like Virgil Ortiz, like Louise, just like Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis, I think, is an excellent fighter, right? You got Jamal James, you got guys like that. Carlos Adames was at 154, but he got beat up by somebody and lost to somebody at 154. So I don't know where he's in the mix. But pretty much with the exception of the Carlos Adames thing, these guys are all over with the PBC. And Terence Crawford is over there with Top Rank. Now, he knew this when he decided to sign with Top Rank. And people were telling him out in the media, on YouTube channels, I'm sure, whispering in his ear, do not sign with Bob Arum again, man. We want to see you fight Errol Spence. We want to be able to see you fight Terence. We want to be able to fight all these other guys because it was readily apparent that all of these people that he needed to fight were going to be over there fighting on Showtime. And I'm not sure if the Fox deal was there at the time, but Fox. So here we find ourselves. Bob Arum was interviewed. I listened to, I think it was a Fight Hype interview. If it's so, shout out to Fight Hype. I'm not quite sure which channel it was, but Bob Arum said, look, man, we got a lot of, after he called this fight with Igis Kalvanakis a bum fight that nobody wants to see. Great job of promoting there, man. Great job of promoting. I think that's just when you get up to close to 90 years old, you say what you want to say. You don't care. You just speak in your mind. So he spoke his mind. Said it's a fight anybody interested in, and that's the truth. Ain't nobody interested in the Green Machine versus Terence Crawford, which is why we're doing all these videos about PBC fighters along with Terence Crawford. Anyway, he brings up an idea, though. He says, look, we got other fighters that are going to be moving up soon. You've got Josh Taylor out of the UK. You got Regis Prograis out of New Orleans. Oh, I think he's out of Houston by way of New Orleans. All right. From New Orleans by way of Houston. I'm not sure how you say that, but he's there. I think he's actually lives in California now. Another top 140 pounder that lost in a great match with Josh Taylor over there in the UK in the finals of the World Boxing Super Series. You also have a unified champion at 140 pounds in Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez said he's looking to fight a Josh Taylor. He's looking to fight Terence Crawford. He's ready for that. So it looks like in the not too distant future that Terence Crawford might actually have the ability to give some decent fights that people want to see. And I'm certainly hoping that that's the case. So, and it's something, quite honestly, like I'll take it. Okay. If it's a fight between Terence Crawford and Josh Taylor, I'll take it. Okay. Now, if it's a fight between Terence Crawford and Jose Ramirez, hey man, I'll take it. If it's a fight between between Terence Crawford and Regis Prograis, I'll take it. All three of those fighters are more legitimate challenges than Terence Crawford has faced that since I can remember, since maybe Felix Diaz and Victor Postol. Those will be. Now, I do want to note though that this is the little man league though. This does become the little man league because these guys are all, some of them, no, I think all of them started at 140 pounds. They're all at 140 pounds now. Moving up to 147. Historically speaking, I don't think it makes it. I think it's okay because you typically 140 pound, the 140 pound division, that's not one of the big 8, historical weight divisions. That's a tweener weight division, right? Like cruiserweight, like 168 pounds, 154 pounds, 140 pounds, 130 pounds, 122 pounds, right? 115 pounds. All of those fights, all of those things are what were in the past referred to as tweener weight division. So having the guys, the kind of the smaller welterweight division, right? When that's why it's called a junior welterweight division, having the junior welterweights move up to full-fledged welterweights can really create a very, very good situation for boxing, and I'll take it. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know, man. I don't know. Is Bob Arum willing to feed Jose Ramirez to Terence Crawford? Let's look at that one first. Would Bob Arum be willing to feed Jose Ramirez to Terence Crawford? Because that's what he's doing. I think Jose Ramirez is a better fighter than I thought he was. I didn't think he had any crack, right? I didn't think the dude had any power. He showed me, I think that was that Amir? No, that was Maurice Hooker. Right, Maurice Hooker was a little light in the behind, but he showed me a little bit, and he showed me a little bit more in the Maurice Hooker fight than I had seen out of him before, and I've gained more respect for Jose Ramirez over time. I was really holding against him that Bob Arum and those guys let him out of that Regis Prograis fight. So I don't necessarily know, man, but I don't think Jose Ramirez is going to get fed to Terence Crawford. I think Bob Arum is going to try to keep him around. If he goes to 147. Man, since there's nowhere else for him to fight, I mean, geez. Bob Arum might not even, now I think about it, in the middle of the stream, Bob Arum might not even have a choice because there's no other belts out there but the WBO, and the PBC ain't about to give up any of those belts anytime soon because all of those fighters are fighting each other. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe that is the only way maybe that's the only way Jose Ramirez can get a shot at a belt. The WBC, I mean, Jose Ramirez could go fight up there for the WBC. I think that would be ironic, though, if Jose Ramirez tried to fight for the WBC belt. I know he's the WBC belt champion at 140, but the WBO, I think, is the only sanctioning body that immediately allows the guy from a lower weight class to fight for the championship. So, and the WBO belt, I do believe, is with Jose Ramirez. I think he's the WBO, WBC, and Josh Taylor is the WBA and the IBF. I'm pretty certain that those are how those belts are divided. Is Josh Taylor going to get up there and fight Terence Crawford? Now, those guys actually, their style to me is kind of similar. I think they're both good boxers. Well, I think Terence Crawford's a great boxer. Josh Taylor, I think, is a very good boxer. They both like to switch southpaw. They both can be unnecessarily aggressive at times. I think that would be a very interesting stylistic matchup, but I'm not quite sure if the people that are going to try to promote Josh Taylor want to feed him to Terence Crawford, unless there's so much money on the table that they can't deny the opportunity. Now, the one that I do believe they can make it hot with, right? I believe this fight can pop off is Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis was at 140 pounds while Terence Crawford was at 140 pounds. So the fact, I believe that he would be, and he had been calling out for Terence Crawford while he was there. I think that would actually be a very, very good fight that obviously I would heavily favor Terence Crawford for that, to win that fight. But again, if these things can happen, at least that side of the street, right? Now I know people were getting all on Errol Spence because he said this side of the street, that side of the street. You might not like the metaphor or the analogy, the metaphor, whatever. But clearly over on that side, over in the Terence Crawford Bob Arum world, these fights are going to be easier to make than the ones over there with the Top Ring, because as far with the PBC, because from what I understand, at least and I never actually heard them say this, but I have witnessed it in the way that they're promoting, that they seem like they're not even recognizing the WBO belt. So anyway, that is a positive. What Bob Arum said right there, I think is positive for Terence Crawford. It's positive for the 147-pound division. If these fights can be made, I take Terence Crawford in all of them. And if he's able to beat them, hey, man, then I definitely don't want to hear anybody talk about this cat and this pound for pound thing. Because to me, I think that it's already a wrap. But almost at this point in time, almost nobody has him up there where he belongs. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.